Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi wahda wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Faqra'u ma tayassara min al-Qur'an. Sadaqallahu al-azim. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik warham ala abdika wa rasulik Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabiyyil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sallim taslima. Today, alhamdulillah, it's the 7th of Ramadan, night approaching. Inshallah, we're going to be doing the 7th juz, وَإِذَا سَمِعُوا, which is from surah number 5, surah Al-Mā'idah, the table spread, verse 83, to surah number 6, Al-An'am, the cattle, verse 110. Again, I remind you that we will be looking at the verses identified by Imam Al-Ghazali rahimahullah as jewels, al-qism al-ilmi, that which gives us the knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the verses in Quran identified by him as pearls, al-qism al-amali, that will help us practice the life that is on Sirat al-Mustaqim, as well as many additional verses. Some of you had sent an inquiry, so if you want to hear the complete tafsir with detailed commentary on all the verses of the Quran al-Kareem, then you can go to the website and listen to the 2011 and 2012. In 2011 we did tafsir of the first half of Quran in English, and in 2012, alhamdulillah, with the karam and fazl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we completed it, and that is available at this website. And for comments and questions, you can always email. These are the list of the verses selected by Imam Al-Ghazali rahimahullah in Juz 7 as jewels and pearls in Surah Al-Mā'idah and Surah Al-An'am. You can go back and pause on this slide later if you wish. Now we begin. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. لَتَجِدَنَّ أَشَدَّ النَّاسِ أَدَاوَةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الْيَهُودَ وَالَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا وَلَتَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ مِنْهُمْ كِسِّيسِينَ وَرُهْبَانًا وَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. So this is the last verse we had done last time, and technically this is in the 6th juz, but it pertains to what we're doing today. One thing that I had left out last time when I was talking about the Jews and the Christians was another group Allah Ta'ala mentioned here, وَالَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the Jews and the idol worshippers, the polytheists, are going to be the most hostile towards Muslims. So let me explain this in a few more ways. Number one is that the Jews have already rejected Christianity. They've already rejected the Prophet Isa alayhi salam. The contemporary Jews won't talk on this subject so openly, but rationally, naturally, it's understood that if they chose not to accept Christianity, they must believe that Christianity is a false religion, and therefore the Prophet Isa alayhi salam is a false prophet. Or the second possibility, which is equally bad, is that they believe and they recognize and acknowledge that Christianity is a true religion and the Prophet Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, is a true prophet, but they don't believe anyway. So given that they already have 600 years, remember I'm talking about the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, given that for 600 years they've already rejected the religion of that time, because in the era of Isa alayhi salam, and in the centuries between him and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is the age of Christianity. So given for 6 centuries the Al-Yahud, the Jews, have already rejected the religion of that time, so the chance that they're going to accept Islam and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is less. And now they would be doubly upset. First, they would have been singly upset that Christianity had superseded them and replaced them as the new manifestation of the one true religion from the one true God. And now they will be doubly upset that now Islam and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has come. And then if you look in the same sense about alladhina ashraku, the same thing is true about the polytheists. The polytheists, the pagans, the idol worshippers of Makkah Mukarramah, neither did they accept Judaism before Isa alayhi salam, nor did they accept Christianity at the time of Isa salam, nor for the following 600 years. So they are people who have rejected 2 of the 3 quote-unquote Abrahamic faiths already. So they're going to be even more triply upset when the deen of Islam comes. But finally it came to the Christians, and the discussion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to offer about the Christians does not end at verse 82, and this is why I had to repeat it. It continues all the way up to verse 85. Before I continue further, I would like to mention again that in the full force and full impact of these verses are obviously about the Jews and Christians and idol worshippers who were living at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As far as the Jews and Christians and polytheists afterwards and up till today, there's one important sense in which these verses will not apply with such full force to them. And that is that they, by and large, have yet to fully identify and learn the truth of Islam, of Quran, and of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whereas the communities that were alive at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and in his place and had met him and seen him and had heard the verses of Revelation being recited by him, a level of burhan and hujjah, a level of decisive proof had taken place, which is not the case afterwards. At the same time, it doesn't mean that the verses don't apply at all. They will still serve as, in a relative sense, as a general rule. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that, however, you will surely and certainly find the closest of them in love and affection, mawadda. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is Al-Wudud, right? Mawadda. Lilladhina amanu, to those who believe, or those who profess and call themselves, say about themselves, indeed we are Christians. Dhalika, now from the dhalika onward, Allah Ta'ala is going to mention all the reasons why those who call themselves Christians are going to be the most affectionate towards the believers. It doesn't end in verse 82. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here in verse 82, I did it last time. If you're new, you can review it at the end of the Gems of the Quran, Juz 6. I just recited that the first reason is that because there are priests and monks, there are those who have knowledge and those who have worship. The second reason, going back to verse 82, the first reason is that they have knowledge and they have worship, and the second reason is that they are not arrogant. And therefore, now continuing verse 83, وَإِذَا سَمِعُوا مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَى الرَّسُولِ. And then when they hear, such people hear, those who call themselves Christians, who have knowledge and who worship and who are not arrogant, when they hear that which has been revealed and sent down to the Rasul, the Messenger, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tara a'yunahum tafidu min ad-dam'i mimma arafu min al-haq. You will see that their eyes start flowing with tears. Indeed, you can say their eyes overflow with tears. Why? Because of that which they recognize to be true. Ma'rifa, arafu min al-haq, from their recognition of the truth. So they know, when they hear Quran al-Kareem, they know it's Kalamullah. So then, yaquluna, so continuing, so then what do they say? Rabbana amanna. They say, Oh our Rabb, we believe. What does it mean? We believe in what we're hearing. What does it mean? We believe in Quran al-Kareem. What does it mean? We believe in the messenger upon whom Quran al-Kareem is being revealed. What does it mean? We believe and accept Islam. Faktubna ma shahideen. Therefore, our Rabb, write us. Literally, write our names, inscribe our names, record us, ma shahideen, as being amongst those who testified and bore witness to the truth of Islam. Wa ma lana, and why would we? La nu'minu. Why would we not believe? Why would we not believe? Billahi, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمَا جَاءَنَا مِنَ الْحَقِّ, and that which has come to us with haqq. In other words, the Quran al-Kareem. وَنَتْمَعُ أَن يُدْخِلَنَا رَبُّنَا مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الصَّالِحِينَ. And our deep desire, our ardent desire is what? That our Rabb will admit us into the garden. It will admit us amongst the Qawm as-Salihin, amongst the people of righteousness. And then finally Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions فَأَثَابَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِمَا قَالُوا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then rewarded them for what they said. جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ, with gardens underneath which rivers flow, خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا, and they will reside and abide therein. وَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, and thus does Allah ta'ala reward and recompense all of those who are excellent and virtuous and beautiful in their action and decision. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, however those who deny and disbelieve in the Quran and the Prophet ﷺ, وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا, and instead they declare them to be false. They falsify the verses of revelation. They repudiate the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ulaika ashabul jahim, they will be the inmates and inhabitants of al-jahim, means the blazing inferno. So nar means fire and jahim means the blaze, the blazing inferno. Al-aman al-hafiz, Allahumma jinna min al-nar. Okay, in verses 87, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, addressing the believers, Ya ladina amanu, you believe, La tuharrimu tayyibati ma ahallallahu lakum, that do not deem forbidden and prohibited those tayyibat, those wholesome and pure things that Allah ta'ala has made halal and lawful and permissible to you. And number 2, wala ta'tadu, and do not be excessive. Inna Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadin. You can say, do not transgress. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not love the transgressor. So again, we have this expression, Inna Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadin. So what happened here was that earlier in Surah Al-Mā'idah, and we had skipped over some of those verses, but earlier in Surah Al-Mā'idah, Surah Al-Nisa, Surah Al-Imran, even in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah ta'ala had clearly mentioned in Quran Al-Karim what was permissible, what were not. Alright? What was permissible to eat and what was not. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that now the believer should not go beyond that. And this is a general lesson for us, that what is haram, and what is halal is halal. And there's no false orthodoxy, false hyper-conservatism that stays away from what is permissible. No. La tuharrimu tayyibati ma ahallallahu lakum. What Allah Ta'ala has made permissible, there is no force, no ideology, no thinker, no scholar can make that impermissible. And similarly, what Allah Ta'ala has made impermissible, there is no modernism, reformism, enlightened moderation that can make it permissible. But then within those things that are permissible, rather Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying is, do not transgress. So this is the transgression, to make the haram into the halal, or to make the halal into the haram, and Allah Ta'ala does not love the transgressors. So this verse, Inna Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadin, would apply to anyone who has a false hyper-conservatism and makes things that are halal into haram, and also would apply to anyone, however they choose to style themselves as moderate or modernist, that they take things that are haram and make them halal. Then Allah Ta'ala returns back in verse 88 to the laws of consumption and eating. وَكُلُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ, and eat from that which Allah Ta'ala has provided you. حَلَالًا طَيِّبًا, eat those things that are lawful and permitted, and that are tayyib, that are wholesome and pure. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ الَّذِي أَنْتُمْ بِهِ مُؤْمِنُونَ, and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, revere Allah ta'ala, be conscious of Allah ta'ala, الَّذِي, that being, that Allah ta'ala, أَنْتُمْ بِهِ مُؤْمِنُونَ, in whom you yourselves are believers. Verse 1991, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about gambling. So the rabt here is what? Now watch this carefully. 1991 are about wine and gambling. So what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just say before? That do not change halal and haram. So there you will find throughout Muslim history, people who have tried to suggest that no, we can drink, or no, that we can gamble, and unfortunately many Muslim countries in the world still have open liquor and open gambling. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, and this is the third and final verse that was revealed regarding these types of intoxicants. Innamal khamru wal maisiru wal ansabu wal azlamu rijsum min amal shaitan. So first is khamr, that indeed khamr. So khamr literally, originally, yes, does refer to the type of wine that was made in Arabia, which was mostly from dates or grapes or barley or other grains like barley, right? So today what people call wine is mostly made from grapes. What they call beer is made from barley and grains, etc. Okay? But it has been understood that al-khamr generically indicates any and all intoxicants, which include all narcotics and drugs and any other types of alcohol, be it vodka or whiskey, that may not be made, strictly speaking, from grapes or grains. Allahu Alam, I'm not even 100% sure about that. I'm not sure what they're made from. I'm sure they're haram. Alhamdulillah. Alright. Okay. Second is gambling. Alright. Maisir can refer generally to any type of speculative activity. This is why certain types, not simple buying and selling of stocks, but certain types of speculative trading like shorts and options and some of those things fall under Maisir as well. Alright? And so the notion of gambling is you're trying to earn money and willing to lose money on nothing other than pure absolute chance. So that is also forbidden. Right? And you can see, by the way, Western sociologists, psychologists, social workers, counselors, just in the West, but this globally, but I'm pointing out the West, have studied the ill effects of alcohol. How many people have done how many horrific things, went under the influence of alcohol and drugs. How much murder has been caused by the trade in drugs. And how many people have thrown away their lives and livelihoods due to gambling. Okay. The next word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned here, wal ansabu wal azlamu. So ansab means idols. Alright? So this is now Allah ta'ala is making a long list of the things that are rijsum min amal shaitan, or things that are an abomination and defilement and are nothing other than the acts of shaitan. So ansab, all idols, idol worship, that is also rijsum min amal shaitan. Then Azlam was divination through arrows, right? Divining arrows people would use. This was a pagan practice in pre-Islamic Arabia of using divining arrows to allot food and other items. Okay, you can view it sort of drawing lots. Fajtanibuhu. So now Fajtanibuhu, Allah is addressing the believers, refrain from all of these things entirely, la'allakum tuflihun, if truly you wish to be successful. If you wish to be successful, so that you may, inshallah, thrive and be successful and prosper. Then in verse 91, Allah Ta'ala mentions the motivations of shaitan. Innama yuridu shaitanu. Indeed, shaitan desires only and only what? Ayyuqi'a bainakum, that he should place between you, sow between you, plant between you, al-adawata wal-baghdha'a, that he wants to sow enmity and hatred between you. Enmity and hatred between you. Fil khamri wal maisri, by means of intoxicants and gambling. Through intoxicants and gambling. Allahu Akbar. Let's look at the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And indeed, again, how many gang rivalries, how many murders have taken place due to intoxicants and drugs? How many people have gotten into fights while drunk? How much enmity is caused by gambling debts and the inability to pay off those debts? Second, what's the other way that shaitan wants to create this enmity between you and hostility between you? وَيَسُدَّكُمْ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَعَنِ الصَّلَاةِ. And shaitan wants to block you away, turn you away, block you, hinder you from the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala and from Salah. So what happens, obviously, when you're drunk, you don't remember Allah Ta'ala, you don't pray. Alright, when you're busy gambling, you don't get up to pray your Salah. فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُنْتَهُونَ. So will you then refrain? Allah Ta'ala asked, will you then refrain? It's a challenge to the believers. At the start was, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Verse 92, Allah Ta'ala then mentions, now what's the connection here? So I put this in the descriptor. The reason Allah Ta'ala immediately after saying, وَأَتِئُوا اللَّهَ وَأَتِئُوا الرَّسُولَ, and each and every one of you are believers, you must obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Each and every one of you are believers, you must obey the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I've explained this before, that when Allah Ta'ala uses this construct, it's clear that these are two distinct things. Why is this mentioned after verses 90 to 91? Because there will be details in the hadith about wine, gambling, and other prohibitions. And so obedience to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam means to stay away from those things that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us and Allah Ta'ala wishes us to stay away from. Wahdharu, and be wary, be cautious. Why? فَإِن تَوَلَّيْتُمْ فَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا عَلَى رَسُولِنَا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. Know that if you turn away, then upon the beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is only the clear al-balagh, the clear delivery of the message, the clear proclamation of the message, the clear communication of the message. That is the only al-balagh al-mubin. That is all that is incumbent on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, verse 93, we're calling this the triple taqwa verse. This is that verse in which the word taqwa has come 3 times. Once I remember I gave a whole Jummah bayan on this, but I don't know if that is anywhere on the net. لَيْسَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. And there's no blame on those who have adopted iman and do virtuous acts and righteous deeds. Okay? لَيْسَ جُنَاهٌ. Right? فِيمَا تَئِمُوا. Regarding the things that they've eaten. إِذَا مَتَّقَوْا. As long as they have taqwa, as long as they were reverent, as long as they were conscientious of Allah Ta'ala, as long as they feared Allah Ta'ala, wa amanu, and as long as they believed, wa amilu salihat, and they did good works and performed righteous deeds, thumma taqaw, and then thereafter, furthermore, they went on, continued on being muttaqi, they revered Allah Ta'ala even more, wa amanu, and then they persisted in their iman. And then ثُمَّ اتَّقَوْا, and then they further revere Allah Ta'ala even more. وَأَحْسَنُوا, and now they had adopted virtuous, beautiful, excellent behavior. وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. So indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the people of ihsan. So if you will, you can imagine that here there's degrees of taqwa, degrees of iman, and it ends in ihsan. So from the Quranic verse, ihsan is viewed to be the highest manifestation of a person who has iman, persists on iman. The word iman has come 3 times as well. You can say amanu, amanu, amanu. And the word ittaqu has come 3 times. Ittaqo, taqo, taqo, 3 times. So triple iman and triple taqwa lead to something called ihsan, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the people of ihsan. So one general meaning of this specifically is you have to keep persisting. Iman is not a station that we arrive at. Taqwa is not some solitary data point that we can achieve. Iman and taqwa are ongoing. Iman and taqwa are developing. We must constantly nurture and develop our iman and taqwa, and there will be so many things that happen to us, transpire to us in our life that will test our iman and taqwa. And if we keep repeatedly doing what? Amilu salihat, which is coming twice in the verse. A'malu salih, a'malu salih. We keep having that, then we end up on ihsan. And then where's a'malu salih coming for the 3rd time? Here when Allah Ta'ala says yuhibbul muhsinin. So muhsinin are those now who for 3rd level are doing a'malu salihat at the level of ihsan. So they reached a sense of beautiful excellence in their deen. May Allah Ta'ala increase us in our iman, may increase us in our taqwa, may He make us amongst the people of ihsan, may He make us from those muhsinin mahbubin. Ameen. Verse 97, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about 94 to 96 or more rules about hunting and what you can kill, what you can hunt, and what you can eat, etc. Verse 97, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Kaaba. So before we had the word Bayt, we certainly is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and now we have the actual word Kaaba. We have the actual word Kaaba. جَعْلَ اللَّهُ قَعْبَةَ الْبَيْتَ الْحَرَامَ قِيَامًا لِلنَّاسِ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the Kaaba, right? And Kaaba means the cube structure, right? Which we all know is Kaaba and Baytullah. Al-Bayt al-Harami, which is what? The sacred house. Qiyaman linnas, a means of support, a means of sustenance for all of humanity. And some say, some of the ulama arifin mentioned here, that Allah Ta'ala has sent down so many barakat and blessings on the Kaaba, that it's all the blessings in the Kaaba, they're a very means of the survival and continuance of humanity. Second was Shahr al-Harama. So there's Al-Bayt al-Harama and then Shahr al-Harama, which are the sacred months, the inviolable months in which Hajj is performed. Wal Hadya, and this is the animal sacrifice. Well, Al-Mā'idah, literally the garlands that are worn around the necks of these offerings. ذَلِكَ لِتَعْلَمُوا, and all of this was done so that you may know. All of this was done that you may know. What? أَنَّ اللَّهَ لِتَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything that is in the firmaments and is on earth. Right? So question arises that how does this help us know that? Right? How does this help us know that? The Kaaba is the origin, the essence, the primordial reality. Some say that the place on which the Kaaba is located, that in fact was the origin of the whole singularity known as the Big Bang, and that means that all of creation emanated from the source of the blessings that Allah Ta'ala sends down on the Kaaba. Khair, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge encompasses everything that is in the firmaments and on earth. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ, and indeed Allah Ta'ala is all knowing about every single thing. In verse 98 and 99, I phrased it this way in the scripture. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reveal something about Himself, and in 99 Allah Ta'ala is going to reveal something about the Blessed Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'lamu, know well, anna Allah, that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shadidul iqab, that He is severe in retribution. Wa anna Allah, and know also well that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ghafurun rahim, ghafurur rahim, that Allah ta'ala is all forgiving, all merciful. Okay, about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ma'al rasuli illa al-balagh, that there is nothing incumbent upon the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam except for the communication, the proclamation, the communication of the message. Wallahu ya'lamu ma tubduna wa ma taktumun, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you reveal, and Allah ta'ala knows what you conceal. So we have two pairs here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the pairing there is that He is severe in retribution and He is all forgiving and all merciful. And then our actions, the pairing is what we reveal and what we conceal. So maybe what we reveal and do openly are actions that are worthy of the punishment of Allah Ta'ala, but what we conceal in our hearts is our shame and remorse over those things, and we turn to Allah Ta'ala secretly in forgiveness and repentance, and Allah Ta'ala can be forgiving and merciful to us. So that is one way to join these two pairings in these two verses. Verse 100, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions a universal law and rule. Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, La yastawil khabithu wa tayyibu, that which is khabith, that which is wicked, which is impure, which is foul, can never be considered the same as a tayyib, that which is pure and pristine and wholesome. وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَكَ كَثْرَةُ الْخَبِيثِ, even if a lot of the things that are foul actually impress you, actually bring you into a state of wonder, actually impress you and bring you into a state of wonder, you can also say that they basically delight you. You find delight in them. So what's the solution to this? That we know that there are things that Allah Ta'ala has forbidden, and in the regard of Allah Ta'ala, those things are foul, but in our sight they are impressive, they delight us, they attract us. So the solution Allah Ta'ala mentions immediately in this very same ayah, fattakullah, that you must fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be aware of Allah Ta'ala, revere Allah Ta'ala such that His declaration of something as khabith overwhelms and overrides your being in ta'ajjub, your being in wonder and amazement and attracted to it. But who will have this? Ya ulul albab. Again, those who understand things not only on the basis of their aql and mind, but who understand things on the basis of their qalb and ruh, their iman and ilm as well. The people of subtle understanding, la'allakum tuflihun, so that indeed you may triumph and you may thrive and prosper. Verses 101 to 102, Allah Ta'ala here is mentioning, and then I'll have to explain this a little bit in detail, beware of excessive questioning or the kind of questioning that is insincere. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you have professed iman, la tas'alu an ashiya'a, that don't ask regarding such things in tubdalakum tasukum, that if they were disclosed to you, they would trouble you. Okay, I'll explain what this means in a moment. وَإِن تَسْأَلُوا عَنْهَا, and if you nonetheless ask about them, حِينَ يُنَزَّلُ الْقُرْآنِ, while the Qur'an al-Kareem is being sent down, tubdalakum, they will be revealed to you. They will be disclosed to you. Afallahu anha, Allah Ta'ala has pardoned that. Wallahu ghafurun halim, and Allah is all forgiving, and I've explained Halim before in the series, and He's ever willing to restrain His punishment or restrain His anger when we do something that is worthy of that. Qad sa'alaha qawman min qablikum, and indeed there was a people in a community before you who asked about these things. Thumma asbahu biha kafirin, but then they came to be disbelievers in those very things. So what does this mean? First, let me explain what it does not mean. It does not mean that you cannot ask questions in religion or ask questions in deen. There's a particular type of questioning that is being mentioned here. One is questioning that is excessive. So the example of this, if you would, although we didn't do those verses, but the example of this is when the Bani Israel asked the Prophet Musa ﷺ extreme details about the Baqarah, about the cow. Another example is, so there's some hadith, there's some incidents that happened in the life of the Prophet ﷺ, and different ulama of tafsir felt that the revelation of these verses were aligned with those different incidents. So one incident is that when Sayyidina Rasulullah, and I'll mention a few. The first incident is that when Sayyidina Rasulullah ﷺ told the believers about Hajj being fard, one person, he asked the Prophet ﷺ that if Hajj would be fard every year, and Nabi Kareem ﷺ was silent. And then he asked again, and the Prophet Muhammad was silent. And he asked a third time, and then again the Prophet Muhammad was silent. And then in different hadith it comes that the Prophet either he said to him that be silent regarding those things about which I am silent. For those who came before you were destroyed by their disputing with their prophets. In another narration it said that he replied that no, it's not fard every year, but had I said yes, it would have been fard on you. So those ulama who align the revelation of these verses with that incident are saying that when something is revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't ask beyond what has been revealed. Alright? So the Prophet's answer is suggesting that sometimes Allah ta'ala has left things ambiguous, and that ambiguity is actually a source of mercy or benefit. So let's say in light of the month of Ramadan, let's say you said that, Khair, let me leave that for when it comes, when that verse comes, inshallah. The other narration that many commentators also suggest is the basis of the revelation of these verses is that the hypocrites, the munafiqun, used to come to Sayyidina Rasulullah and constantly, endlessly ask him pointless questions, testing him, trying him, and they were insincere. They wanted to show that the Prophet ﷺ could not answer questions like that. So they were, for example, questions beyond deen. So they would come and they had lost a camel, they would ask him that, where is my camel that is lost? Right? They would want him to, answer things like that. So, in that sense, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning that if there's too much questioning, or if you have insincere questioning, that insincere questioning could lead you to even abandon your iman, because what will happen is when you ask so many questions about tertiary, ancillary, less important things, then you will become of an inherently questioning, doubting, skeptical nature, and then you will end up questioning your very iman itself. So having true, sincere questions is perfectly fine, but allowing yourself to have insincere questions may end up a person may end up as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about previous communities, asbahu biha kafirin. Verse 104, Allah Ta'ala is highlighting a mistake that some people made when they refused Iman. The basis of the refusal of their Iman was they were going to follow their ancestors, their family ancestors. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ تَعَالَوْا إِلَى مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ, and when it is said to them that come and hearken and accept to that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed, وَإِلَى الرَّسُولِ, and come and accept, come to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and come to the Quran and come to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They reply, قَالُوا حَسْبُنَا مَا وَجَدْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا, that is sufficient for us what we find that our fathers and forefathers, our ancestors are upon. We're fine with whatever we have inherited from our family. أَوَلَوْ كَانَ أَبَاؤُهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا. So Allah says, what? Even if their fathers and forefathers knew nothing, وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ, and they were not rightly guided. So Allah Ta'ala is making clear in Quran that our relationship with Allah Ta'ala and the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and our belief and practice of deen transcends what we may have inherited in family tradition or ancestral traditions. Right? Just like any other truth, there's no truth that we would reject simply on the basis if we find out that our forefathers didn't accept it. For example, if somebody rejected that the earth is round because obviously whoever their ancestors were centuries ago believed the earth is flat. A person today would say, you're so foolish. But they say, no, but this is what my ancestors believe. So you can love many things about your ancestors and you can cherish the things that are true that they may have transmitted to you in the tradition of your ancestors, but you cannot accept falsehood. Verse 105, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is generally mentioning that the believers should, I just gave it a basic title, believers should be firm. They're responsible for themselves. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu alaykum anfusakum, that you who believe, that to you is the responsibility for your own selves. La yadhurukum man dhalla, that those who have gone astray, they will not be able to harm you in the slightest. إِذَا اهْتَدَيْتُمْ, if you follow the guidance, if you are rightly guided, if you heed the hidayah. إِلَى اللَّهِ مَرْجِئُكُمْ جَمِيعًا, and to Allah Ta'ala is your return altogether. فَيُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, and He, Allah Ta'ala, will inform all of you regarding all that you used to do. Verse 109, Allah Ta'ala mentions, this is now the beginning of a whole section that is going to go from 109 all the way up to the end, 120 of Surah Al-Mā'idah. Alright? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is first going to mention here in 109 that He's going to gather all the messengers on the Day of Judgment. And then Allah Ta'ala is going to, from 110 onward, mention specifically what Allah Ta'ala is going to say to Nabi Isa alayhi salam, the Prophet Jesus, and how the Prophet Jesus alayhi salam is going to reply. And that will go all the way to the end. And then in verse 120, Allah Ta'ala will close the surah with a simple expression of His power. So now this is the climax of the discussion about Nabi Isa alayhi salam. So whatever was discussed in Surah Al-Imran or Surah Al-Nisa or here in Surah Al-Mā'idah, all of it will be understood in light of this passage first and foremost. So the first thing we learn in verse 109, يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُ اللَّهُ الرُّسُلَ, that on that day, the Day of Judgment, Allah Ta'ala will gather and collect all the Rusul, all of the prophets and messengers alayhim assalam ajmain. فَيَقُولُوا, and Allah Ta'ala will say to them, مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ. Allah Ta'ala will address all of them and say, what was the response that you were given? How did people respond to your delivering the message? What response did you receive? قَالُوا, and all of the messengers from Adam alayhi salam to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam will in unison reply, La ilma lana innaka anta allamul ghuyub. We have no knowledge, truly it is you who know best the things that are unrevealed or which are unseen. Obviously, the prophets, when they passed away from this world, they do not know what happened to their followers afterwards, or what was the reception history, as they say, of their message. Okay, and then Allah Ta'ala will specifically ask Nabi Isa alayhi salam, because out of all the messengers, his followers committed the most extreme way of going astray, is that they started taking their prophet, the Prophet Jesus as a god. إِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, Ya Isa ibn Maryam, that, O Isa, Jesus son of Mary. So it's clear, Allah is not addressing him as his son. أُذْكُرْ نِعْمَتِي عَلَيْكَ, that remember my blessing upon you. وَعَلَى وَالِدَتِكَ, and upon your mother. إِذْ أَيَّدْتُكَ بِرُوحِ الْقُدُسِ, when I strengthened you with the Holy Spirit. So what is Ruh al-Qudus here? The Holy Spirit is the angel Jibreel alayhi salam. Then, تُكَلِّمُ النَّاسَ فِي الْمَهْدِ وَالْكَهْلَ, and that you spoke to people in the cradle and when you were in maturity as an adult. وَإِذْ أَلَّمْتُكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. So Allah Ta'ala is saying that Allah Ta'ala taught him, or I taught you, the book and the wisdom and the Torah and the Injil. And I've explained before in this series, Al-Kitab and Hikmah is the universal, absolute scriptural teaching and wisdom that Allah Ta'ala bestows, scriptural teaching that Allah reveals unto all prophets, and Hikmah is the wisdom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down upon all prophets. Torah and Injil were the names of two books of revelation that were taught by Allah Ta'ala also to Nabi Isa alayhi salam. Then Allah Ta'ala mentions that we also did before, وَإِذْ تَخْلُقُ مِنَ الطِّينِ كَهَيَّةِ الطَّيْرِ, that you took from clay or soil and you fashioned the likeness of a bird from clay, بِإِذْنِي, by my permission, فَتَنْفُخُ فِيهَا, and then you blew into it, or you breathed into it, فَتَكُونُ طَيْرًا بِإِذْنِي, and it became an actual real bird by the warrant and leave and permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَتُبْرِئُ الْأَكْمَهَ وَالْأَبْرَسَ, and Allah says, and you cured and healed the blind and the leper بِإِذْنِي, by my leave. وَإِذْ تُخْرِجُ الْمَوْتَ بِإِذْنِي, and you would bring forth the dead, raise the dead back to life بِإِذْنِي, from my warrant and leave. وَإِذْ كَفَفْتُ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ عَنْكَ, and look how I kept and restrained the Bani Israel from you. In other words, they tried to kill you and crucify you, but I raised you up to me and therefore kept them away from you, kept them from harming you. إِذْ جِئْتَهُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ, even though you did bring them clear proofs. فَقَالُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْهُمْ, and those who disbelieved from amongst them, they used to say about you, Isa Isam, in hada illa sihrun mubin, this is nothing other than clear and manifest sorcery. Alright? So same thing that people in Makkah Mukarram would say about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So here in 110, Allah Ta'ala is recounting one by one all of the blessings and bounties that He sent on Nabi Isa alayhi salam. Then Allah Ta'ala continues, verse 111. وَإِذْ أَوْحَيْتُ إِلَى الْحَوَارِيِّينَ. So Al-Hawariyin were the companions of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. In Christian terminology, they're called the apostles of Jesus, right? They were the companions or the Sahaba of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired those companions, the Hawariyun, an aminu bi, that they should have iman. Allah Ta'ala saying, in me, Allah Ta'ala, will be rasuli, and in my messenger. Qalu, such that they then said, amanna, they did have iman. Washhad bi annana muslimun, and they asked Allah Ta'ala that bear witness that we are those who submit and surrender entirely to Allah Ta'ala. إِذْ قَالَ الْحَوَارِيُّونَ, and remember when your companions, the Hawariyun, or if you want to say apostles, the Hawariyun, said, Ya Isa ibn Maryam. They also used to know him and refer to him as Jesus, son of Mary, not Jesus, son of God, or Isa ibn Maryam. Hal yastati'u rabbuka, that is your Rabb able, an yunazzila alayna ma'idatan min as-sama'i, is he able to send down to us a table spread from the heavens full of food? Right? What it means is a feast. قَالَ اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. And Nabi Isa alayhi salam replied to them that be fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, revere Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, indeed if you are believers. Okay, but they replied, so here's the, by the way, the word Mā'idah. This is where the surah takes its name. Right? قَالُوا, the Hawariyun, the apostles, the companions of Isa alayhi salam responded, نُرِيدُ أَن نَأْكُلَ مِنْهَا. No, we want to eat from it. We desire to eat from it. وَتَطْمَئِنَّ قُلُوبُنَا. And we want that our heart should be given content, that our heart should be satisfied. وَنَعْلَمَ أَن قَدْ صَدَقْتَنَا. Even though we know that you have spoken truly. In other words, when you have told us about the existence of Allah Ta'ala and that you are Prophet and the Torah and Injil that you are teaching us have been revealed to you by Allah Ta'ala, in all of that, أَن قَدْ صَدَقْتَنَا. We know, we do, وَنَعْلَمَ أَن قَدْ صَدَقْتَنَا. We do know that indeed you have surely spoken the truth. وَنَكُونَ عَلَيْهَا مِنَ الشَّاهِدِينَ. And we are witnesses and we bear witness and testify to that truth. But still, now contrast this with Musa alayhi salam. Remember Musa alayhi salam had said that Allah Ta'ala, I want itminan, I want to have itminan in my heart. Here they're saying the same thing, but tatma'inna qulubana. But how are they doing it? They've already seen so many things, right? They've seen Isa alayhi salam cure the blind, cure the leper, bring the dead back to life. So they've seen many things, but what they want is they want to eat. Now one commentary of this suggests that because Isa alayhi salam had taught them the Torah and the Injil, and in the Quran Kareem and Surah Baqarah also, Allah Ta'ala also mentioned that Allah Ta'ala sent upon the Bani Israel manna salwa. Allah Ta'ala sent them a food, if you will, from above. So the Christians, having seen the apostles and companions of Isa Islam, having seen many other miracles, but they didn't want to be outdone, or they wanted to also experience and see and eat specifically the food that can be sent down directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Isa alayhi salam, so now we've reached verse 114. Qala Isa ibn Maryam, and Allah Ta'ala keeps referring to Jesus, by the way, as son of Mary. So he turns to Allah Ta'ala in dua, Allahumma Rabbana, that oh Allah, our Rabb. So now you have a combination of both, right? Some du'as begin with Allahumma, some begin with Rabbana, and you have here dua beginning with Allahumma Rabbana. And the ulama have taken from this also that it's permissible to begin all our du'as with both. And some have even said it's preferable when you get it from ruku, you say Allahumma Rabbana wa lakal hamd, as opposed to just Rabbana lakal hamd. Okay. Allahumma Rabbana, O our God, O our Rabb, Anzil alayna ma'idatan min as-sama'i. Please send down upon us a table spread with a feast min as-sama'i, from the heavens. Takunu lana idan, and let this be a festivity for us, a festive feast for us, right? Eid. لِأَوَّلِنَا وَآخِرِنَا, for the first of us and the last of us. So one meaning was that Isa alayhi salam was saying that, Ya Allah, if you send it down upon us, we will henceforth commemorate this day and always celebrate this day, that this is the day that Allah Ta'ala sent the Mā'idah on us. Okay, وَآيَةً مِنْكَ, and it will also be a sign from you. وَارْزُقْنَا, and Allah Ta'ala, we want that you should provide from us, meaning directly, right? We want that food that comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَنْتَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ, for indeed Allah Ta'ala, you are the best of providers. You are the best of providers. Okay, verse 115, Allah Ta'ala replies, قَالَ اللَّهُ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنِّي مُنَزِّلُهَا عَلَيْكُمْ, I will, indeed, I will send it down upon you. I am the sender of it down upon you. فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بَعْدُ مِنْكُمْ, however, now that you have it, now once I send it, whomsoever disbelieves from you afterwards, فَإِنِّي أُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا لَا أُعَذِّبُهُ أَحَدًا مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. Allahu Akbar. I will punish them in the manner of such a punishment that never have I punished anyone like that, min al-alamin, from all of the created realms. I will, if anybody disbelieves thereafter, I shall punish them with the punishment the like of which I have not punished any other person min al-alameen, of all the created realms. So what is the understanding here? The understanding here is that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manifests His ghaib, then it's not really 100% belief in the unseen. Up till now, when the other things that I had mentioned, we know that Allah Ta'ala gave Isa the permission to do that, and that's why Allah Ta'ala keeps saying bi'idhni, 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 right? It was by my leave, by my warrant, by my permission that you cured the blind, the leper, etc. But from the Hawariyun, from a human perspective, they wouldn't know that this is the power of God. For all they knew, this is the power of the human being that's in front of them. Even if the human being is telling them that no, it's not my power, it's a power granted to me by God, but they wouldn't know that. But once Allah Ta'ala sent down the Mā'idah from the Sama, then it's clear it's not the power of Isa alayhi salam. There's another being. And Allah Ta'ala is saying is, yes, I will send it down, but then I will have manifested a level of proof on humanity that no other humanity has been given so much proof of my existence. Because the Prophet I've sent has worked so many miracles, and then I myself am sending a miracle. So because they now will have received a proof and miracles at a level that no one ever has, if they disbelieve now, فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بَعْدُ, that minkum, from any one of you who disbelieve now, then they will get that extreme punishment. Alright? And this is the way you understand, this is a general principle. So again, the Jews and Christians who were alive at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they witnessed the nur of his Nabuwah, and they witnessed the revelation, the recitation of the revelation of Quran al-Kareem. That is the level of proof. That level of proof is not there for the ordinary person today. So the responsibility and accountability is according to the level of proof that is revealed. And that's all we need to say and know about those who disbelieve in Islam. Beyond that, the second thing we will simply say and know is that on the Day of Judgment, they will be judged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the being of perfect knowledge, perfect justice, and perfect mercy. And He will judge them according to His perfect knowledge, perfect justice, and perfect mercy. So therefore, neither they nor we have anything, any objection that can be raised at the perfection of the Day of Judgment. Alright. Verses 116 to 118, now Allah Ta'ala is going back, right? Returning to what Allah Ta'ala began with on 110. He asked Isa alayhi salam, He had asked all the prophets, how was your message received? What was the history of the reception? What did your communities do with your message? Right? But here Allah Ta'ala did an interlude, so you will, and mentioned all these bounties and blessings that He has sent in Isa Islam. And now 116, He gets back to the discussion. وَإِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya Isa, or we really say when Allah Ta'ala will say, but technically it's the past tense when Allah Ta'ala said, Ya Isa ibn Maryam, that O Jesus son of Mary, Ya Isa son of Maryam radhiyallahu anha, أَأَنْتَ قُلْتَ لِلنَّاسِ اتَّخِذُونِي وَأُمِّيَ إِلَهَيْنِ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, that did you really say to people, take me, quote, take me, Isa alayhi salam, and my mother Maryam radhiyallahu anha as two gods, ilahaini min dunillah, apart from Allah Ta'ala, and in addition to Allah Ta'ala, in addition to some concept of Trinity? Immediately, Isa alayhi salam will reply, Qala, Isa alayhi salam will reply, Subhanaka ma yakunu li an akula ma laysa li bihaqqin. Oh Allah Ta'ala, glory to you, right? Glory be to you. It is not befit me, it is not possible to me, it is not given to me. I have no right, it is not for me to say that which I have no right whatsoever to say. In kuntu qultuhu, if indeed I used to say that, right? If indeed I used to say that, faqad alimtahu, you surely would know it. Ta'lamu ma fi nafsi, you know every single thing that is in myself. Wala a'lamu ma fi nafsika, and I do not know what is in yourself. Alright? So this is the separation of Isa alayhi salam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jesus is not God. God knows everything that is in the breast and self of Jesus. Jesus does not know what is in the nafs of God. Alright? And if this notion that they say that no, in the Quran it also says that Allah Ta'ala breathes the ruh into Isa alayhi salam, and therefore when God breathes the ruh into a creature that becomes the son, so then look in the verses before, Isa alayhi salam breathed into the birds. So are those birds the grandsons of God? Or you can now expand your Trinity, and the Trinity includes now God and Mary and Jesus and the birds, because that story is there in the Bible also, right? So because if you believe that Jesus is God, why? Because you say he's the Son of God, he's also God, he's part of Trinity, because God breathed his ruh into him. Well, then Jesus thereafter, now according to you becoming God, breathes into the birds, and they come to the life. So the bird should be the grandson of God. The bird should also be part of the Trinity. Allahu Akbar. Khair, here going back to verse, this is something I forgot to mention to you earlier. So here, Isa is saying that you would know, everything. You would know everything. And you know everything in me. I know nothing in you. Innaka anta allamul ghuyub. And indeed you Allah Ta'ala, you are that being who is all knowing of everything and every matter that is in every affair that is unseen. Alright? But then Isa, so that's the first answer Isa Islam gives, right? That it would never have been within my right to even say it. How in the world could I have said it? Second answer he gives is that in kuntu qultu, that if I had said it, you would surely know. Third answer he gives three answers. Ma qultu lahum, I did not say it to them. Answers it directly also. Ma qultu lahum, I did not say it to them. I did not say it to them. I said nothing to them. I said not to them. Illa ma amartani, except that which you, Allah Ta'ala, commanded me bihi, to say. And what was that? Ana'budullaha Rabbi wa Rabbakum, that they should worship Allah Ta'ala, who is my Rabb, and I would tell them he's also your Rabb. Wa kuntu alayhim shahida, and I was a witness over them. I was a witness over them. Kuntu alayhim shahida ma dumtu fihim, as long as I remained amongst them. But what they did after me, I neither witnessed to that, nor can I claim to know that. Alright? فَلَمَّا تَوَفَّيْتَنِي, and Allah Ta'ala, when you raised me up to yourself, right? And we've done this before. كُنْتَ أَنْتَ الرَّقِيبَ, then it was you who were al-raqiba alayhim, it was you who were the watcher over them. وَأَنْتَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيدٍ, and indeed you, Allah Ta'ala, are shaheed, you witness every single thing. إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ, then finally Isa says, Ya Allah, if you punish them, فَإِنَّهُمْ إِبَادُكَ, indeed you would be well within your right, because indeed they are your slaves. وَإِن تَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ, and Allah Ta'ala, if you forgive them, فَإِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ, Allah Ta'ala, you are almighty and all wise. You are almighty and all wise. Alright. Now, Ajib, this is the special ma'rifah of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. You would think that one might have said, وَإِن تَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ, that if you were to forgive them, فَإِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ, that indeed you are the one who is all forgiving, all merciful. No. Isa alayhi salam wanted to acknowledge that Allah Ta'ala, you are almighty, and if they did something like this, it is against your might. And if you forgive them, you will remain almighty. Forgiving them will not detract from your might in any way. Your might does not need to be expressed by punishing them. Were you to forgive them, it would still not detract from your might. فَإِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ, you are ever and always Al-Aziz, Almighty, and you are Al-Hakim, you will do what is based on the wisdom, you will make the wisest choice and decision about what to do with them, whether to punish them and whether to forgive them. قَالَ اللَّهُ, so then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says, that's very interesting. Allah doesn't answer the question here. He doesn't say, okay, I'm going to punish them. He doesn't say, okay, I'm going to forgive them. This is left unknown. Allahu a'lam. Allah Ta'ala knows best. But what He does say, He says, هَذَا يَوْمَ يَنْفَعُ الصَّادِقِينَ صِدْقُهُم, that this is the day that those who were true, their truth will benefit them on this day. Those who were sincere, their sincerity will benefit them on this day. Allahu Alam, what that may mean, right? Regarding the previous verses, but what it definitely does mean is that generally for us, for our teaching, is that the truth of the truthful will benefit them on the day of judgment. It may not benefit them in this world, alright? And sometimes being honest and true, quote unquote, doesn't pay in this world. But we are going to be honest and true anyway, because there will be a day in which an honesty and truth will benefit us, and that is the day of judgment. And another meaning is that the Sadiqeen here is referring to the Nabiyeen. And Allah Ta'ala is saying is that this is the day that the truth of the true prophets and messengers will benefit them, right? They themselves will benefit on that day by being truthful. Lahum jannatun tajri, but any and all of the people who Allah Ta'ala knows best are the Sadiqeen. Lahum jannatun tajri min tahtiha al-anharu khalidina fiha abada. To them belong gardens underneath which rivers flow, and they will enter and dwell. They will dwell and abide therein abadan, forever. Then radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. Allah Ta'ala is pleased with them and they are pleased with Him. ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. That indeed is the azim, is the tremendous, majestic attainment. That is the ultimate, true, majestic attainment. What? That Allah Ta'ala is pleased with us and that we are pleased with Him. So fawz is attainment, triumph. And finally Allah Ta'ala ends لِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, that to Allah Ta'ala belongs the dominion and sovereignty of all the realms above, wal ard, and earth, wa ma fihinna, and all that lies between the two, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir, and Allah Ta'ala is powerful over all things. And that ends Surah Al-Mā'idah. And now we move to Surah Al-An'am, which is translated as the cattle. Surah Al-An'am is the 6th surah of Quran al-Kareem, and this was revealed in the Meccan period. So the surahs that we've done up to now were revealed in the Madani period, which means after Hijrah. This surah was revealed in the Meccan period, which is before Hijrah. This is very important to know about these surahs, okay? And especially because of the way Allah Ta'ala has arranged Quran al-Kareem. So now we're going to get a glimpse back. It's like we're going to travel back in time in Quran. And now we're going to look at those revelations that Allah Ta'ala sent the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the earliest community of Sahaba in Makkah Mukarramah. And obviously the issues and the events that took place in the early Meccan period are very different than those that took place in the Madani period after Hijrah. And so this surah is going to help us learn that as well. So seerah and Quran, these things go together. One of the main things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be doing here is going to be chastising idolatry, shirk, polytheism, because in Makkah Mukarramah, in contrast to Medina Munawwarah, where there were a lot of Ahl Kitab, in Makkah Mukarramah, as you know, was full of the pagans, polytheists, mushrikeen, idol worshippers. Right? Some of the ulama have accepted a hadith which states that Surah Al-An'am was revealed all together. And if that was the case, it would be the longest surah to be revealed at once, all together. And that 70,000 angels came down bringing Surah Al-An'am. Alright? And this is why a lot of stress has been placed on reading Surah Al-An'am. In any case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will begin by mentioning His might and power, and that He alone is worthy of praise. Then some of the things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do, which we may skip over a little bit, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will warn the Ahl Makkah mushrikeen of the punishment and fate that awaits them in the hereafter if they do not accept the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they do not accept Islam. We'll do it a little bit. And then later on in the surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will especially try to give sukoon and console the heart of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is obviously saddened that the people of his tribe, his clan, the Quraysh, the Ahl Makkah, his own people, are not accepting his message, and in fact, even worse, they're mocking, ridiculing, or even also worse, that they're hostile and enmity. They're showing hostility and enmity towards him. So then Allah Ta'ala will send revelations from verses 37 to 73. So you can think that 1 to 3 is an opening statement of the power of Allah Ta'ala, that He is worthy of praise. Verses 4 to 31 are talking about the Allah Ta'ala warning the polytheists and reminding them of the punishments that befell previous generations that ignored the teachings of the Prophet sent to them. In verses 32 to 36, Allah Ta'ala will console the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And verses 37 to 73, Allah Ta'ala will reveal various arguments that the Prophet ﷺ should state, Qul, and present in front of the mushrikeen as a response to their rejection of deen. In verses 74 to 83 is the famous incident of Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, and we will do that in entirety inshallah. And in verses 84 to 92, Allah Ta'ala mentions generally about prophets and messengers and revelations, and we will cover that as well. And verses 95 to 99, Allah Ta'ala mentions certain aspects of Himself, which we will also be covering. And I think that is all that is going to come in this juz. But just so we just finished the overview of the surah. Later Allah Ta'ala will also mention some dietary ahkam and rulings and commands and prohibitions. And finally, towards the end, Allah Ta'ala will speak about Tawheed. And we will do those verses tomorrow inshallah, because those verses of Tawheed at the end come in the 8th juz. So let us begin. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا. Okay, all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that being who created the samawat and ard, who created all the realms transcendent, and wal ard and earth and all that lies upon it. وجعل الظلمات والنور, and Allah Ta'ala also made every form of darkness, and He made an-nur, He made light. ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ يَعْدِلُونَ, and then thereafter those who do not believe in their Rabb, يَعْدِلُونَ, yet those who do not believe in their Rabb, يَعْدِلُونَ, they deem others as equal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whereas هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن طِينٍ, whereas He, Allah Ta'ala, is the being who created you from soil and the elements that are in the earth. ثُمَّ قَضَى أَجَلًا, and then Allah Ta'ala appointed for you and decreed for you a term, which is your lifespan. وَأَجَلٌ مُسَمَّى إِنْدَهُ, and that is a term which is appointed with Him in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ثُمَّ أَنْتُمْ تَمْتَرُونَ ثُمَّ أَنْتُمْ تَمْتَرُونَ, then still you doubt, yet still you doubt. So in the one ajal is our life on earth, and the ajalum musamma indahu is our life in the hereafter. So this is also an ishara that there will be death, and there's life after death, and there's resurrection, and there will be a abode known as the akhirah. وَهُوَ اللَّهُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ, and He is Allah Ta'ala in the samawat and the ard. يَعْلَمُ سِرَّكُمْ وَجَهْرَكُمْ, Allah Ta'ala knows the secrets that you conceal, وَجَهْرَكُمْ, and that which you make, that which you reveal. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا تَكْسِبُونَ, and He knows every single thing that you do, everything that you earn, everything that you commit. Now here, you will notice that everywhere else it says لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, or لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And here, in the start of Surah Al-An'am, وَهُوَ اللَّهُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ, it does not mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself is anywhere. Alright? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transcends space. So what it means rather is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's awareness is present in the samawat and on earth. And that's why, and we understand the first part of verse 3 in light of the second part of verse 3, because Allah Ta'ala is talking about His ilm. Ya'lamu sirrakum wa jahrakum wa ya'lamu ma taksibun. So وَهُوَ اللَّهُ, and He is Allah Ta'ala, فِي السَّمَوَاتِ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ, it means His Godship and Godness overwhelms and governs all the samawat and earth, and His attributes of knowledge and hearing and seeing and awareness, Al-Alim, Al-Sami', Al-Basir, Al-Khabir, all of those attributes permeate through the samawat and ard, such that He knows everything and is aware of everything, even sirrakum, that which you keep secret. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself exists now as He created before He created space and time. His being transcends spatiality and temporality. So He's not spatially located anywhere. Alright. In verses 7 to 8, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions some signs and belief in the unseen. وَلَنْ نَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ كِتَابًا فِي كِرْطَاسٍ. Allah Ta'ala said that were we to have revealed upon you, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the revelation in the form of a book in a scroll. So if we had physically sent down a book on paper, right? This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. If we had physically sent down a book on paper, so kirtas you can say is parchment, is paper, is a scroll. فَلَمَسُوهُ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ, and so those disbelievers could even touch it with their own hands, right? فَلَمَسُوهُ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ, all the people could touch it with their own hands. لَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, then surely those who disbelieve, they would simply have said, إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ, that this is nothing other than clear and manifest sorcery. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if they wouldn't have believed, those who don't want to believe, they're not going to believe. It's not as if Allah Ta'ala sent down the Quran al-Kareem, Kitabullah, as is, on parchment, on paper, still they wouldn't have believed. They would have just said this is magic. Similarly, وَقَالُوا, and they would say, لَوْ لَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ مَلَكٌ, then why has not an angel been sent down unto him? Why is it that this parchment, this scroll was sent down to him? So they would come up with another question. You answer one question, they come up with another one. You answer one question, they come up with another one. Were things to have been the way they say they should have been, even then they wouldn't have believed. So this is the stubborn nature, this is the commitment that they have to disbelief. And this is why Allah Ta'ala, this is an example that Allah Ta'ala says that He lets them go astray. Allah Ta'ala doesn't misguide them so that they take such an extreme position. He lets them go astray because they have such an extreme position that they don't accept the guidance. They wouldn't have accepted even another form of guidance. They wouldn't have accepted it if the form of guidance was that the whole Quran was revealed in one shot and sent down to earth on parchment. Even then they wouldn't have accepted. وَلَا أَنزَلْنَا مَلَكًا لَقُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ ثُمَّ لَا يُنظُرُونَ. And Allah says that, okay, but had we sent down an angel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing them, had we sent down an angel, then لَقُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ, then the matter would have already been decided. Meaning that there's no belief in the unseen. ثُمَّ لَا يُنظَرُونَ, and therefore then no time, no respite would have given them, no chance would they have had to actually reflect and adopt belief. Verse 10, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning, again, partly to console the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the previous messengers were also ridiculed. وَلَقَدْ اسْتُهْزِئَ بِرُسُلٍ مِّن قَبْلِكَ, that indeed the previous messengers who were sent previously were surely mocked before you, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, were mocked and ridiculed. فَحَاكَ بِالَّذِينَ سَخِرُوا مِنْهُمْ, and those who used to sneer and scoff at them, they were surrounded by haka. Haka billadhina sakhiru minhum ma kanu bihi yastahzi'un. Those who used to scoff and sneer and mock and ridicule at them, they were ultimately then beset by, they were surrounded by that which they used to mock. And this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has repeated in other places in Quran al-Kareem as well. Verses 12 to 13, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that He has made mercy, He's inscribed a mercy upon Himself. He has inscribed a mercy upon Himself. قُلْ لِمَنْ مَا فِي السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to whom, liman, to whom belongs, ma fi samawati wal ard, all that lies within the heavens and the earth. Qul, proclaim to them the answer as well. Ask them the question and proclaim the answer, lillah, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then who is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Describe to them, who is Allah ta'ala? Kataba ala nafsihi rahma. Allahu Akbar. Allah Ta'ala, that being was prescribed mercy to himself, who has committed himself absolutely to being the being of mercy. So imagine, remember what we said, that there was no latna, means that there is no power for any person to take themselves outside the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. Only Allah Ta'ala has the power to place someone outside the mercy. And there is no power that can make Allah Ta'ala choose to be merciful. It's rather here what is being mentioned, it is Allah Ta'ala himself who is committed to being mercy by inscribing and prescribing mercy upon himself. Kataba ala nafsihi rahma. Okay. La yajma'annakum ila yawm al-qiyamah. Allah says that he will surely gather you on the day of judgment. La rayba fihi, and there's no that day in which regarding which there is no doubt. Alladhina khasiru anfusahum fahum la yu'minun, and those who have lost their souls, lost their selves, they're the ones who don't believe. Walahu ma sakana fil layli wan nahari, and to Allah Ta'ala belongs all that lives and dwells and resides in the night and the day. Wa huwa samiul alim, and indeed he is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Now, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning that everything belongs to Allah Ta'ala, all might and power belong to Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala 14 to 16 is going to make it clear that even for the blessed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he also just belongs to Allah Ta'ala. Kul, and also proclaim to them, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, aghayra Allahi takhidhu waliya, shall I take other than Allah Ta'ala a protector? Shall I take to a protector other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Fatir as-samawati wal ard. Allah Ta'ala was the originator of the heavens and the earth. Wa huwa yut'imu wa la yut'am, and Allah Ta'ala is that being who feeds and is not fed. Qul inni umirtu an akuna awwala man aslama. Qul, proclaim to them, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and say and declare, inni, indeed I, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, umirtu, have been commanded, an akuna, that I should be awwala, the first, man aslama, of those who submit and surrender. Wala takunanna min al-mushrikeen, and therefore none of you should let yourself be from amongst the idol worshippers, idolaters, polytheists. Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and say, inni akhafu in asaytu rabbi adhaba yawmin adhim. Even I, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, indeed I fear, in asaytu rabbi, that were I to disobey my Lord, my Rabb, then what would I fear? Adhaba yawmin adhim, I would fear the punishment of a tremendous day. Allahu Akbar, showing that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is also nothing other than the obedient slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his prophet and messenger. Man yusraf anhu, and whosoever is spared by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on that day, yawma idhin faqad rahimahu, it is because Allah Ta'ala has been merciful to them. وَذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْمُبِينَ, and that is the manifest triumph, the clear triumph. 17 to 18, Allah mentions that all power lies with him. وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِذُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ, if Allah Ta'ala should afflict you with some adversity, there is no being who can remove it except illahu, except for him. وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ, and should Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala touch you, so not afflict you, but touch you with good, then indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is powerful over all things. وَهُوَ الْقَاهِرُ فَوْقَ عِبَادِهِ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is overwhelming and dominant over and above all His creatures, servants and slaves. وَهُوَ الْحَكِيمُ الْخَبِيرُ, and Allah ta'ala is all wise and all aware. So Qahir means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is overwhelming, and He is all wise and all aware. 19. Qul, again Allah ta'ala tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam what to say. And this is a beautiful discourse or beautiful explanation by the Blessed Prophet ﷺ of, as revealed to Allah now, to say about what it means to be a Prophet and Messenger. Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem ﷺ, Ayyu shay'in akbaru shahada, that what can be greater? What thing is the akbar? What is the greatest as testimony and as witness? Qul, proclaim to them, Allahu shahidun bayni wa baynakum, that Allah Ta'ala is the witness between me and you, between me and you. وَأُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ, and this Qur'an has been revealed to me, لِأُنذِرَكُمْ, so that I may warn you, bihi, by means of this Qur'an, وَمَنْ بَلَغَ, and whomsoever this may reach, whomsoever the Quran may reach. أَإِنَّكُمْ لَتَشْهَدُونَ, do you truly bear witness? أَنَّ مَا اللَّهِ آلِهَةً أُخْرَى, that there are other gods beside Allah? Is this really what you want to bear witness to? This is what your testimony is? Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, La ashhadu, proclaim to them that I, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I do not bear any such witness. Now, to what? To gods other than Allah Ta'ala, or that with Allah Ta'ala there are other gods. The Prophet ﷺ said that I bear no such witness. Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Innama huwa ilahu wahid, indeed He is only the one God. وَإِنَّنِي بَرِيءٌ مِّمَّا تُشْرِكُونَ, and indeed I am absolutely absolved and I quit myself of the idolatry that you commit and the partners you ascribe to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then this is the way, remember this is Meccan Surah, this is the way Allah Ta'ala guided the Prophet ﷺ, this is how you should talk to, and this is what you should say, and this is what you should proclaim and declare to the polytheists. Then Allah Ta'ala mentions what is the worst thing. This is a verse Allah has repeated a lot, but it hasn't come up so much yet. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا, and who can be more unjust, who can be more of a wrongdoer than that person who fabricates against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a lie, أَوْ كَذَّبَ بِآيَاتِهِ, or renders false, deems false, falsifies the verses of Revelation and the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ, indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that being that He will not, indeed لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ, the wrongdoers will never ever prosper and triumph. One way people, the more general teaching is that one way that people fabricate lies against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to attribute things to deen that are not there. Or somebody says, oh, don't worry, no, Allah ta'ala will surely forgive you. If you have no knowledge of that at the level of surety, you should not say that. Yes, you can say, oh, don't worry, Allah ta'ala surely al-forgiving. That is something you can say. Here, then Allah ta'ala in verses 25 to 26 talks about the polytheists. وَمِنْهُمْ, and from amongst the idolaters, some of them, مَنْ يَسْتَمِعُ إِلَيْكَ, they are those who actually listen to you, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَجَعَلْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ أَكِنَّةً, but Allah says, we have placed veils or coverings over their hearts. وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ أَكِنَّةً أَنْ يَفْقَهُوهُ, such that those coverings prevent them from understanding it. وَفِي أَذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا, and in their ears is a deafness. وَإِنْ يَرَوْا كُلَّ آيَةٍ لَا يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَا حَتَّى إِذَا جَاءُوكَ يُجَادِلُونَكَ, and if they saw every verse or every sign, they would still not believe in them, such that so much so إِذَا جَاءُوكَ, that when they come to you, Prophet ﷺ, يُجَادِلُونَكَ, they actually argue and dispute with you. يَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and those who disbelieve, they say, إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ, this is not but fables of the ancients. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing an intense form of polytheists that they chose to disbelieve even after listening to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so the punishment for them, as I mentioned earlier, when the hujjah is so extreme that they know the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they listen to him, and they still choose to disbelieve, so therefore Allah ta'ala then sets a further covering on their hearts. And then verse 25, وَهُمْ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنْهُ, and what do? They forbid it. وَيَنْأَوْنَ عَنْهُ, and they stay away from it. وَإِنْ يُهْلِكُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ, but by means of forbidding others from it and themselves staying away from it, they destroyed none other than their own selves. وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ, and all the while they are entirely unaware. All the while they are entirely unaware. In verse 32, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the reality of this world. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَعِبٌ وَاللَّهْوٌ, that what is the life of this world other than la'ib, other than a game, play, وَاللَّهْوٌ, and a pastime. So this world is nothing other than the life of this world is nothing other than a play or a pastime. Lah, you can also say diversion. وَلَدَّارُ الْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ, but the hereafter and the abode of the hereafter, the realm of the hereafter, residing in the abode of the hereafter, is khairun, is better. لِلَّذِينَ يَتَّقُونَ, for those who have taqwa, for those who are fearful and conscious and conscientious of Allah Ta'ala and revere Him. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, do you not then have sense? Verse 33 to verse 34, again Allah Ta'ala is consoling Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قَدْ نَعْلَمُ إِنَّهُ لَيَحْزُنُكَ, we indeed, Allah Ta'ala is saying is we know. Remember the royal we, Allah Ta'ala is saying is that I in all my might and majesty and tenderness and mercy and forgiveness, I know what they say grieves you. لَا يَحْزُنُكَ الَّذِي يَقُولُونَ, that which they say, لَا يَحْزُنُكَ, surely grieves you, puts you in sorrow. فَإِنَّهُمْ لَا يُكَذِّبُونَكَ وَلَكِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ يَجْحَدُونَ, but know that they are not rejecting you, they cannot falsify you, but rather the zalimeen, the wrongdoers, it's the signs of Allah Ta'ala that they reject. So this is a very sweet, gentle, merciful way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that فَإِنَّهُمْ لَا يُكَذِّبُونَكَ, and as far as they, those idol worshippers go, they do not falsify you. وَلَكِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ, however those wrongdoers, what are they doing? يَجْحَدُونَ, they are denying بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ, they are denying the verses of Allah's revelation. وَلَقَدْ كُذِّبَتْ رُسُلٌ مِّن قَبْلِكَ, and what they did do is they deem false, deem and declare as false prophets and messengers who came before you. So why isn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that لَا يُكَذِّبُونَكَ? Because actually they did takdeeb of Rasul before, and this is what they're doing. So this is Allah Ta'ala's expression of His own testimony, that because Allah Ta'ala is testifying that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a Nabi, then who can do takdeeb of that? Allahu Akbar. فَصَبَرُوا عَلَى مَا كُذِّبُوا وَأُؤْذُوا حَتَّى أَتَاهُمْ نَصْرُنَا, and the previous messengers had patience and remained steadfast and endured. But they endured this rejection and repudiation, وَأُذُوا, and harm, حَتَّى أَتَاهُمْ نَصْرُنَا, until our help came to them. وَلَا مُبَدِّلَ لِكَلِمَاتِ اللَّهِ, and nothing can change the kalimat, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكَ مِن نَبَإِ الْمُرْسَلِينَ, and indeed has come to you min naba al-mursaleen, the account and information of some of the messengers. Okay, in verse 38 Allah says, وَمَا مِن دَابَةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا طَائِرٍ يَطِيرُ بِجَنَاحَيْهِ إِلَّا أُمَمٌ, that there is no creature that is upon this earth, nor birds that fly with their wings, except that they are umamun, that Allah Ta'ala has naturally made them form into communities. Allah Ta'ala has naturally made them form into communities. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the second thing in this verse, إِلَّا أُمَمٌ أَمْثَالُكُمْ, until they form into communities like yourselves, like human ones. The second thing, مَا فَرَّطْنَا فِي الْكِتَابِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, Allah says we have not neglected or overlooked to mention anything in this book. Third, ثُمَّ إِلَى رَبِّهِمْ يُحْشَرُونَ, and then towards their Rabb will they all be ultimately gathered. 44 to 45, Allah Ta'ala mentions punishments of past communities who disbelieved. فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ, and when they forgot that which they had been admonished and reminded with. فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ, Allah Ta'ala says that we opened up to them the doors of everything. What does that mean? We opened the doors of all things to them. We opened up all the provisions, the doors of all provisions, the gates for everything to them. حَتَّى إِذَا فَرِحُوا بِمَا أُوتُوا, such that until they started to rejoice in what they were given. فَأَخَذْنَاهُمْ بَغْدَةً, that we suddenly seized them in our punishment. فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْلِسُونَ, and they came to despair. فَقُطِعَ دَابِرُ الْقَوْمِ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. So the last of the people, Dabirul Qawm, the last of the people, Faqudiya, were cut off. All hamd, all praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabb of the Alameen. Rabb of the Alameen. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He cuts them off, Faqudiya, Dabirul Qawm, to cut off the last people means the last remnants of the people, means that because of their wrongdoing, their civilization was entirely wiped out. And that was the punishment of the past communities who disbelieved. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and all praise is only and only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Rabb of the Alameen. We have a few verses left in just 6, and inshallah we will teach them and upload them later on the channel inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.